All right. Good evening. Sorry, I had my just had my dinner, so a bit late. So evening, guys. This is our March week 3. Happy Monday to y'all. So, where were we? Where were we? Hello, Renee. Very hard to see you. How's your did you begin your school today? Because many they did. Okay, I don't know about your schedules lah. I think. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so you follow normal school holiday lah. Anyway, guys, I think we were here. Wait, were we? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so last week we finished our. Okay, not to finish like we finished our chapter 2, which is the heart chapter. Okay, we finished this. We finished this, and we were halfway through our lungs. Okay, we're halfway through our lungs. So let me repeat things I've said last week. So we said what is respiration. Remember, respiration is a chemical process. All right. What your cells do, each of your cell will do respiration. Okay. This thing that you do, this is called breathing. Okay, or physical respiration if you would. Okay, so this is what we do for gaseous exchange. Okay, we exchange gas. This is called breathing. And the chemical process by every cell is called cellular respiration. Okay, so that's the difference. And remember your parts here. Okay, your trachea. Okay, your trachea. And then your bronchus. They kind of sound like branches. Okay, bronchus, branches. And then you have your bronchiole, means small bronchus. And they will go to your alveolus. Okay, these bubbles, we call it alveolus or alveoli. They are the final destination. Gas will stop here and then they will do exchange. Your lungs will throw out carbon dioxide and they will take in oxygen. Okay, so you already know this lah. I think most of you learned this in year 7 already. So I think I'm gonna quickly go through this. Okay, so I think we finished all this. Oh, what happens when you have flu? Okay, we mentioned this last week. When you have flu, you produce too much mucus inside. Okay, too much mucus inside, so it blocks the smell from going to your receptor, so you don't smell anything. All right, this is why when you are having flu, you don't smell things, and this makes food a little bit worse. All right, food doesn't taste that nice because you cannot smell. You cannot smell better. All right, so I think we finish here, huh? I think we finish here. Huh? So this is alveoli here. Okay, this is alveoli here. Have we talked through these points? Have we? I'm not too sure. I think we have mentioned this, right? Okay, so air enter our nose, our body through the nose. You have hair in your nose to trap foreign particle. You have filter here, and then your nose epithelial cell. Okay, epithelial cells are what we call the inner lining. Okay, the inner skin of your nose. They produce a sticky fluid called mucus. When you touch inside, it feels sticky, right? When you have flu, that's the sticky thing. Okay, this is to trap more foreign particles. So your snot, your PT is actually for trapping dirt one. Okay, and then of course enters our trachea. Our trachea, I think I have not mentioned this, right? So our trachea is supported by rings of cartilage to prevent it from collapsing. Okay, I think I mentioned this. I let you saw this picture, right? So you see trachea here. Your trachea has these rings to stop it from collapsing. Right, guys? Because when your trachea, if your trachea collapse, it's a very serious matter. You will run out of breath. You will run out of breath. Okay, not to say you run out of breath. You will stop breathing. You will suffocate. That's why this thing needs to open. Like I said last week, if I were to choke you, hang on, let me switch off the background. It's making my computer really laggy. Okay, if I were to choke you, I will need to close this thing. I will need to fight this cartilage. I mean, this thing is not exactly hard, but it's still a bit hard to compress. Okay, so these rings are made from what we call cartilage. Okay, they are made from cartilage. What is a cartilage? Cartilage is a soft and rubbery tissue. Yes, we have an artery to the brain. That's correct. That's correct. I think I mentioned this before. If you are punished by death sentence in Malaysia, you know death sentence in Malaysia is hanging, right, guys? You know death sentence in Malaysia is hanging. So when you are sent to the gallows, you're sent to hanging. It's not like they suffocate you. Okay, different. You see, death sentence hanging and people killing themselves hanging is different. If you kill yourself hanging, you suffocate yourself, right? It takes a while. But if you were to be killed by death sentence, it's supposed to snap your neck so that I can snap your artery. Have I mentioned this before? I think I mentioned this before, right? So death sentence in Malaysia is hanging. It is supposed to cause as little pain as possible to be as humane as possible. Okay, according to them lah. All right, so this is a cartilage. Okay, guys, do you know what's a cartilage? In the middle of the neck bone. Because that's just how they go up. Is to protect your artery. Your artery cannot be exposed, right? Okay. So anyway, you know what is your cartilage? Guys, have you eaten chicken breast before? You know when you halfway through eating the chicken breast, you can find a white color bone in it, right? That's the cartilage. 软骨 is a soft bone. It's not as hard as our normal bone, but it is hard enough to support this, to open your trachea. Cannot crack our neck. You don't crack it too hard lah. Okay, if you crack your neck, you have a small risk of snapping your artery, but that is really small. Come on, give your artery some credit. Your artery is really, really tough. Okay, to snap it, it will take some effort. Unless I crack your neck. Even so, I won't necessarily break your neck because your neck is pretty hard. Your artery is pretty hard. Okay, so you have your rings of cartilage here to prevent it from collapsing during breathing. Okay, so I think I finished here last week. So similar to the nose, the trachea has epithelial cell that produces mucus. It also has cilia. Okay, guys, throughout your whole throughout your whole breathing tract here, from your nose to your throat to your trachea, the whole way here, you have epithelial cell. You have epithelial cell. And this epithelial cell is to produce mucus. Remember? So you have mucus in your nose. You have the sticky fluid in your nose. You also have the sticky fluid in your throat. You also have the sticky fluid throughout your trachea. Right? Can you see all these are filters? All these are filters. Your whole breathing tube, the whole breathing tube is wet for a reason. You guys get what I mean? It's not dry. You cannot be dry here. It needs to be wet all the way. All the way. Your nose is wet, your throat is wet, your trachea is wet, your bronchus is wet, your whole lungs is wet. It needs to be wet. All right? So they are like a filter. So this is your epithelial cell. And then when you come to your trachea, it also has cilia. What is a cilia? Cilia are microscopic hair. That means if you zoom into your trachea, you will see hair here. Okay, not like, okay, something like your nose hair, but your nose hair is smaller. Your nose hair is bigger. This is much smaller. Yeah, it traps 90%. I would say it's more than that. I would say it's 99%. So if you see your trachea, okay, let me show you trachea cilia. It looks like this. Can you see how small are they? Can you see how small are they? Only when you zoom in 100 times, you can see them. You see? That's how small are they. It's like tiny coral reefs. It's like sanhu. Like tiny coral reefs to trap this thing. All right, Carl, that's very good. Yes, it moves the mucus along too. Wow, how did you know? Right? Okay, guys, this hair, they are like your broom. They are like your broom. So, okay, let's say you inhale a lot of dust. Okay, let's say you go to a dusty area, you inhale a lot of dust, you produce mucus, right? Too much mucus, right? So this hair will sweep this thing up, sweep it to your throat. That's why when you go to dusty area, your throat will have phlegm. Okay, it feels 你有很多痰在这边。Okay, it feels a lot of phlegm. So you can either swallow it or you can spit it out. Either way works, right? But swallowing it works as well because spitting it out is not very good for other people. So you can just swallow it. Works fine, guys. Okay, you can just swallow your spit. You don't need to spit it out. Okay, so this is your hair here. So the trachea then branches into two passageway, the bronchus. I see branches, bronchus. And then each bronchus branches into many smaller bronchiole. Okay, we have the smaller branches. And at the end of every bronchiole, there are many bubble-like structure called alveoli. These are the alveolus. These are the alveolus. Looks a bit disgusting, isn't it? Okay. Guys, do you know, have I told you this before? How wide your total surface area is? How wide is your alveolus? Have I mentioned this last week? Have I mentioned this last week? If you open all your alveolus, you have millions of it, guys. You have millions of alveolus. So if you open everyone, if you open all your alveolus, the total surface area is as big as a tennis court. Okay, as big as a tennis court. So you have a tennis court inside your chest, inside your lungs. That's how good your alveolus is. They are really good in doing exchanging. Okay, the gaseous exchange, they can do it very well. So the alveoli are where gaseous exchange occur. So this is the final station lah. This is the final station. Okay, I'll show you here. So see, this is the final station. There's nowhere else to go. So oxygen will go into your blood. Carbon dioxide will come out from your blood. This is gaseous exchange. Can you see? I'm exchanging gas here. I'm taking things I want. I'm throwing things I don't want. I throw out rubbish. I take in parcel. Like I said, right, last week, oxygen is like the parcel we need. Okay, so we take in parcel, we throw out rubbish. Okay, you know this, okay, so this is what happens in your lungs. So, okay, guys, what happens, right? You see, just now I said, your trachea has the cartilage, right? The soft bone to keep it open. Bronchus, they also have this. Okay, let me show you the picture later. Can you see the rings here? And then you see the rings here too. So, but when it comes to your bronchus, your bronchiole here, okay, your bronchiole here, it has no cartilage. Okay, it has no cartilage. That means this bronchiole here, can you see this bronchiole? Okay, this is another diagram. You don't have this. Can you see this bronchiole? This is the alveolus. Can you see this is completely soft? This is completely soft. Your bronchiole is completely soft. There is no cartilage here. That's why, guys, if you are born with your bronchiole too soft, not strong enough, too soft, the bronchiole will close randomly. Okay, when they close randomly, this is how you get asthma attack. You know what is asthma? 哮喘. You guys have any of you here have asthma? Asthma is when your bronchiole, they just close for no reason. Oh, Carl, you do? You do? Okay, cool. O2 is pH 6 to 7. I would say O2 is close to 7 though. How does our body neutralize it? You will learn this in chemistry next time. Your oxygen, sorry, your carbon dioxide will combine with water to form something called carbonic acid, and then they will break it into something called hydrogen ion and carbonate ion. And this thing will be in your red blood cell. This is a bit complicated. Okay, this is a bit complicated, but your body has a way to deal with the acidic CO2. Okay, if that's what you want to know. Right? Don't get me into this because if I start explaining this, it will start to get really complicated. Okay, you'll learn this in biology next time. All right, so asthma attack happens when a person's bronchiole narrows suddenly. Okay, they will narrow. Why does it narrow? Because they're not strong enough. Okay, and what causes this to happen? Could be a lot of reasons. Could be dust, could be pollens. Are you guys allergic to pollen? Pollen is your huafen. So if you have this thing okay, so if you have asthma, what do? You need the spray to dust. Again, I'm allergic to dust too. Okay, you know that spray? Okay, that spray inside has, that one is called an inhaler, by the way. And inside the inhaler, you have something called bronchodilator, a type of medication that relaxes the bronchiole. Okay, you see broncho? Broncho means bronchial. Dilate means to relax. So this drug is like a bronchial relaxer. So when you absorb, when you spray into your lungs, this thing will ask your bronchial to chill. So your bronchial will relax. So when they open, you can breathe normally again. Okay, you guys okay? Guys, this is extra info. This is extra info. Not coming out for exam, but just to let you know. Okay, so this bronchodilator is your asthma medicine, asthma drug. And did you know this? Did you know this? This bronchodilator is considered as a performance enhancing drug. Again, this bronchodilator is considered as a performance enhancing drug. That means if you're a cyclist, you're caught using a bronchodilator, you will be disqualified. Why? Because this bronchodilator will open your bronchiole bigger. You can get more oxygen in. That is sort of like cheating. Right? Right? Think about this, guys. If I use this and you don't use this, I cycle faster than you, that is cheating because I get more oxygen. You get what I'm trying to say? So this is considered as a performance enhancing drug. 它是一种精药. Okay? So, oh, is it? Oh, the one I really don't know. No, I really don't know. Okay, so guys, you're not allowed to use it. Guys, think about this. All the drugs that we use, all the medicine that we use, they have a chance of being misused. Okay, they have a chance of being misused. Like, testosterone, the male hormones, the hormones that makes us guys, makes us male. That hormone was originally for people who don't go through puberty. Some people, they cannot go through puberty, right? So the testosterone was originally for that. But some people, they take it to gain more muscle. Steroids lah. Steroids lah. So when we are talking about steroids, we are talking about testosterone. Why not? Some people are thinking, why not I take a bit extra to make grow more muscle? You see? So every drug has a potential of being misused, including this thing. Okay? And asthma medication is used to make you cycle faster. Wow, what's that? What's that? Is it a muscle relaxant? Is it a muscle relaxant? Yeah, speaking of muscle relaxant, it will be misused as well. Okay? So far, are you guys okay? Andre, are you okay? Rennie, are you okay? You guys okay? So if you guys are okay, I'm gonna speed things up a little. I'm gonna speed things a little. Okay, Andre, are you there? All right, so this is your alveolus. This is your alveolus. So let's move on. Let's go to our breathing. Okay, so this thing is really easy. This thing is really easy. So inhalation and exhalation, all structures mentioned above cannot move. Okay, guys, trachea, bronchus, bronchiole, alveolus, they cannot move. They are not muscles. They are just tubes, right? They are just tubes. Therefore, breathing is done by the movement of two muscles. So you have two muscles here. You have your intercostal muscles. You can call them external intercostal muscle, whatever, and the diaphragm. Okay, what is the intercostal muscle? Intercostal muscles, they are muscles between your ribs. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, imagine this is your rib cage. Okay, imagine this is your rib cage. Can you see this muscle here? Can you see this muscle here? This is your intercostal muscle. All right, so look here, guys. Look here. When this muscle contracts, when this muscle shortens, your rib cage will do this. Your rib cage will move closer to each other. Okay, when this muscle relax, your rib cage will do this. Open. Okay, so contract, relax. Okay, contract, relax. So that's the intercostal muscle. Okay, guys, do you know we can eat this? Yeah, they are playing tug of war, exactly. Okay, do you know we can eat this? I mean, not humans ones lah. Do you know we eat pork? This part of a pig. Do you know we eat this part of a pig? It's called 排骨. 排骨. You know bak kut teh? You know bak kut teh? When you eat 排骨, the 排骨, this is the part we're eating. Okay? And like lamb ribs, You know lamb ribs? When we are eating lamb ribs, sorry, lamb ribs. When you are eating lamb ribs, are there? You see? That is the intercostal muscle. That's the can you see the ribs? Can you see ribs? Can you see the muscle in between? That's the muscle we're eating. Okay, that's the muscle we're eating. And then of course, you know what's the diaphragm? You know what's the diaphragm? This is the diaphragm. This is the diaphragm. Okay, so guys, so I want you to imagine like this. Okay, you know what's a syringe? You know what is a syringe? Okay, you know a syringe, right? Okay, inside a syringe, you see a black color rubber. No, not scary. Okay, you see the black color rubber, right? Now, this black color rubber is like your diaphragm. Okay, it's like your diaphragm. So what happens when you push the rubber up? What happens when you push the rubber up? Air will go out, right? When I push this guy up, air will go out, right? That's what happens when you breathe out. I'll mention that later. Okay, what happens when this thing is pulled in? When you pull the diaphragm down, when you pull the rubber down, air will go in. This is what happens when you inhale. 吸气 when you inhale. Okay, I'll talk about this later. So only these two muscles can move. The rib muscle, the pork pai guat that you eat, and this rubber here. Okay, so the ribs extend from the backbone to surround our lungs to protect them. Okay, by the way, your rib cage is around the lungs. So that I punch you anywhere, I will not punch your lungs because you have these ribs protecting you. Why we inject medicine together with oxygen? Do we inject with oxygen? I thought we inject with water. Do we inject with oxygen? Because the last time I checked, I don't think we inject with oxygen though. Like when I was in the hospital, they will inject with either water or oil. It's either that. What injection are you talking about though? Like you see, when you inject insulin, insulin is dissolved in water, sterile water. When you inject a growth hormone, let's say you have growth deficiency, you cannot grow taller. When you inject growth hormone, we dissolve it in water. Like if we inject steroids, we inject in the form of oil. We dissolve it in oil. Push some. Oh, okay. You mean why do we jerk something out before we inject? Is it? This is to get rid of the air. This is to get rid of the air. You cannot inject air into a vessel. You will die. Serious Okay, like you see when you draw medicine from a vial okay, let me. Why are you showing me this drawing medicine vial? Okay, why are they showing me a drawing? What the? Okay, so you see this thing? Okay, you know this is a vial, right? Can I? Why already? You want to grow taller? You want to grow taller? Okay, so when you put your needle into it, when you draw medicine out, right, there will be some air in your syringe, right? So you have to put this. Okay, let's say I draw like this. I draw like this. There will be some air up here, right? So what do I have to do now? I have to put this in reverse. I have to let the air come out, and then I have to. Can you do you see nurse doing this? They will do this, and then they will let the air come up, and then they will push a little bit for the medication to push out. So now everything is filled with liquid. I cannot have air inside because it's very dangerous. Okay. By the way, guys, if you want to grow taller, yes, you can go for growth hormone injection. But let me tell you, this is really freaking expensive. Okay. You know who did this? You know who did this? Donald Trump. He did this for his son. He let his son go and take this injection, and he grew much taller. Right? Do you have the money for it though? Air enter our veins or arteries, it will cause a turbulence and it will cause blood clot and you will get heart attack. Very dangerous. Okay, so why don't you grow the healthy way lah? Okay, don't do. Oh, guys, by the way, growth hormone will make you grow taller, right? Will make you grow taller, right? Not only that, growth hormone can also stimulate your cancer cell to grow faster. Can you see how this is a double-edged sword? 有好有不好啦. It makes you grow, it makes your bone grow longer. It also makes, if you have cancer cell, it makes your cancer cell grow faster too. So be careful using this. I mean, if you have the money to go for growth hormone injection, usually doctors won't entertain you one because he will see like, okay, you are like 1.5 something, you are like a normal. Really, how tall are you? If you're like 1.5 something, you are normal height, they will say, why should I give you growth hormone? 1.54, okay, what? 1.54, okay, what? You're as tall as my wife. Hey, hello, you're 40 leh. You still have like 4 more years to grow leh. 1.4 is good enough lah, good enough lah. Malaysia average female height is 155. 154 or 155. And then you see your average already. Okay, anyway. So the external intercostal muscles are located between the ribs. Okay, mentioned that already. When these muscles move, they move the ribs. Diaphragm is located at the bottom of the lungs. Okay, so let's learn inhalation. This is 吸气, inhalation. Guys, this is common sense. When you inhale, what do? You do this, right? Okay, so you see, the intercostal muscle contracts. You see, the muscle contracts. Again, the muscle contracts. Contracts. Okay, I pull my rib cage. So what happens to my rib cage? My rib cage will move upwards and outwards. Up and out. Okay, out and up and out, whatever lah. Okay, going towards that way. Right? So next, your diaphragm contracts and flatten. This diaphragm, this rubber will pull in, contract and flatten. Because I'm drawing medicine inward. I'm drawing air inward. So my diaphragm moves down. Can you see? My diaphragm is moving down. So what happens now? The volume of your chest cavity, this volume here, will increase. Okay, volume will increase. That means you have more space here. You see, because my chest is moving out, my diaphragm is moving down. Now my room here is bigger, right? My room here is bigger, right? So what happens? The pressure will decrease. Pressure will decrease. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let me finish this. Let me finish this real quick. Okay, pressure will decrease. Okay, this is very easy. When you are okay, let's say all four of us are. If you are in a room, in a small room, you feel pressure, isn't it? When I make the room bigger, volume increase. When I make the room bigger, you feel less stressful. You don't feel that pressure. You feel less stressful, right? So pressure decrease, lor. Okay, so now pressure inside is lower, pressure outside is higher. Pressure will always go from high to low. This is physics. Okay, pressure will always go from high to low. You will always have people going from crowded to less crowded places. 多人去少人的地方. So the air will move in. Okay, so air flows into the lungs. Okay, you guys cool? You guys cool? Andrew, are you there? Andrew, are you there? Can you understand this? Can you understand this? Can you please give me a reply if you're there? Yeah, sure. Carl, what do you want to ask? What do you want to ask? You guys okay? You guys okay? Oh, Andrew, your chat is like up there. I cannot see your chat. That's weird. Okay. So yeah, myomectomy surgery. What the? Okay, I don't know what is that. I'm assuming myo means muscle. Something termi means to cut away something. Is it like that? I'm just guessing. I'm guessing. Myomectomy. Because when you say termi, I know it's cutting something off. Myomectomy. Oh wow, what is this? Oh, okay. Removing fibroids. Okay. Okay. This one I know. You know what's the ovary? You know what's the ovary? 卵巢. Okay, ovary. If I'm not mistaken lah. Okay, here's the thing. Girls will have tumor growing in their uterus one. Okay, it's a very normal thing. And not every girls lah, but most girls have it. Okay. And these non-dangerous tumor, we call them fibroids. Okay, we call them fibroids. So a myomectomy is to cut away the fibroid. Okay, so it's a relatively low risk surgery. I have a friend who did this. She had a fibroid growing inside her. I think it was her uterus. Her uterus or her ovary, I forgot. Okay, at like 21 or 22. She had it cut away. What is fibroid growth so big? Depends on the hormones. Depends on the hormone. It's quite a common thing in girls though. All right. It's quite normal. It's quite normal. How does it get nutrients? Just like any normal cells. This is like a useless cancer cell growing. Okay, it's like a tumor, but it's a benign one. It's a non-dangerous tumor. Okay. Hope I answer your question. No biggie lah. It's a no biggie lah. Okay. I've heard multiple times already. Okay, anyway, so inhalation is you breathing in. Okay, so your muscle moves, contracts, muscle here, the diaphragm contracts, you pull air in. So guys, exhalation is just the total opposite. You don't even need to memorize this, it's just the opposite. So the muscle relax. Okay, rib cage move down and in. Diaphragm relax and curve up. Your diaphragm moves up. I push the syringe up. Volume decrease. Now my chest becomes smaller. The pressure here becomes bigger. So big pressure will push the air out. So you exhale. Okay, so you exhale. Guys, are you okay with this? Really simple, right? Really simple, right? It's just like a balloon. When a balloon becomes bigger, you draw air in. When a balloon becomes smaller, you push air out. Simple, huh? All right, guys, I have a question. Have I asked you this last week? What happens when your diaphragm cramps? What happens when your diaphragm cramps? Have I asked you this last week? Oh, I did, huh? Yes, you have a hiccup. Okay. When this diaphragm they jump around, this diaphragm they jump around, you are having a cramp, this thing goes like that, like that, like that, twitching like that, you do, like that, hiccups, hiccups, so hiccups is your diaphragm just being funny, okay, the thing is cramping, harmless, okay, rather harmless. Okay, guys, cool, cool, this is really simple, if you're okay, then we shall go to gaseous exchange. Okay, let's go to our gaseous exchange. All right, so guys, please pay attention here. This part is really important. Copyright from esophagus and stomach. I mean, you want to put it this way, all muscles also like that one, right? Is to give you movement. Okay, so anyway, so this is your alveolus, This is your alveolus, This is your alveolus. So can you see you're inhaling air and then you're exhaling air? So what happens here? Okay, so can you see this alveolus here? Beside it has a blood capillary. Okay, our liver don't have muscle also. Okay, so this is a blood capillary. Remember I said last chapter? Remember what I said last chapter? Your lung is like a Shopee seller. Okay, this is the Shopee seller, and your heart is your Shopee Express, the delivery. So now you see your heart pumps the blood here to do what? To throw out rubbish and to get your parcel. This is your parcel. This is your parcel. And let's say you live in a lake. Let's say you are living in a house. Your house is at the lake. Okay, at the lake, is in your kaki, your 脚, so this is you. Okay, so the job of the red blood cell is to travel. This lorry is to travel to the leg muscle and pass the parcel to you. Okay, so that's the job of your blood circulatory system. Okay, so let's look here. Let's look here. Remember why is your blood blue? Remember why is your blood blue? Because this part is your deoxygenated blood. Remember? The blood without oxygen. I mean, they don't look blue in real life, they look dark red. But dark red and bright red is very hard to tell the difference, so might as well they just put blue here. Okay, so blue is deoxygenated. Now this is, okay, remember oxygen is the parcel? Oxygen is the parcel. This is without parcel. Deoxygenated, no oxygen, no parcel. This is an empty lorry. Now I come here, I throw carbon dioxide, and I take in oxygen. So now I turn fresh red, bright red. This is your oxygenated blood. blood with oxygen, blood with parcel. So this is your parcel. So now this blood already has parcel. So where will it go to? It will go back to your heart. Okay, and your heart will pump the blood to your body cells, and then they will pass your parcel to you, and then they will go back to where again? Go back to the heart, and they go back to your lungs to collect your parcel again. Right? So this is a repetitive process. Okay, I get oxygen, I deliver you the oxygen, I go back and get oxygen again. Just like your Shopee delivery. They go and get your parcel, they come and give you the parcel. They go and get a parcel again, they go and give you a parcel again. So this thing repeats and repeats. So this is your gaseous exchange. All right. Remember what is the thing inside your red blood cell called? Inside your red blood cell, there is something that helps you carry the oxygen. What is the thing called? And works in our body. What's the function? NO3. What is it? You mean HNO3? What is NHO3 though? Right, yes, it's a hemoglobin. This is a hemoglobin. So let's read the point. The blood pumped from the heart into the lungs is deoxygenated blood, high concentration of carbon dioxide and low concentration of oxygen. So you see here, it's all carbon dioxide. It has no oxygen. Oh, nitric acid. That is for blood constriction, to narrow your blood vessel so that you can have higher performance. Okay, athletes will take nitric acid before they exercise. It's called NO2, I think. It's called NO2. All right, so next, air inside the alveolus has low concentration of carbon dioxide and high concentration of oxygen. So you see, you have a lot of oxygen here. You have very little carbon dioxide here. And in the blood, it's reversed. Very low oxygen, very high carbon dioxide. So you see, carbon dioxide will go from high to low. Oxygen will go from high to low. This is how they exchange. Okay, this is how they exchange. So carbon dioxide will move by diffusion from blood into the alveolus. So guys, can you see this arrow here? Can you see this arrow here? This movement is what we call diffusion. 渗透 diffusion don't say move, because move doesn't sound very nice. You can say diffuse. Not important for now, but next time when you go biology, next 2 more years, when you go biology, you cannot write the word move. You have to write the word diffuse. Carbon dioxide diffuse from blood vessel to the alveolus. Oxygen diffuse from the alveolus into the blood vessel. That is what you need to write. Yeah, spread in a different direction. Yeah, you guessed it. Okay, so oxygen will move into by diffusion from alveolus to the blood. This process is also known as gaseous exchange. The exchange here is called gaseous exchange. 空气交换. Okay, the exchange for gas. Oxygen in the blood combines with hemoglobin in red blood cell to form oxyhemoglobin. Guys, have I mentioned this last chapter? I think I have, right? Oxygen and carbon dioxide, they become very good friends called oxyhemoglobin. So now your blood becomes oxygenated blood. The blood then returns to the heart to be pumped around our body. So now here is the reverse. I go from oxyhemoglobin into hemoglobin because I give out my oxygen already. Now here, your alveolus is different. I go from hemoglobin to oxyhemoglobin. I take oxygen. Here, oxy to non-oxy. I give oxygen. All right, you guys okay? You guys okay? I know I'm moving a little bit fast, since I know you already learned it in Form 1, so I just kind of move a little bit faster. But please don't forget hemoglobin. Please don't forget hemoglobin. All right, so guys, the more hemoglobin you have, I'm just gonna write HB lah. The more hemoglobin you have, the better your exercise performance is. Okay, I think I told you this, right? The more hemoglobin you have, the better you perform in sports because you have more transport, you have more lorry to carry your oxygen, so you have better stamina. So hemoglobin will determine your stamina, right? Hemoglobin will determine your stamina. So if you have a lot of hemoglobin, okay, if you have a lot of hemoglobin, that makes your stamina really good. And Conversely, if your hemoglobin is not enough, okay, guys, have you heard of this disease before? If your hemoglobin is too little, okay, when you have too little hemoglobin, yes, that's correct, you will get anemia. Remember, that's your anemia. All right, so I have another question. What food should you eat to grow more hemoglobin? I think I mentioned this last chapter also. What food should you eat to increase your hemoglobin? Okay, greens. You can say that. Okay. No, not protein. Okay. The mineral you need is iron. Guys, hemoglobin is made from iron. It's made from iron. Have you noticed this? When you cut your hand, or if you smell blood, blood kind of smells like rust, right? Blood kind of smells like your gate. You know your gate is made from iron, right? When you smell your gate, when your gate is rusty, you know the rusty smell, your blood kind of smells like it. Meat contains iron. Not every meat, but red meat. Red meat, like beef, like mutton, like pork, those have iron. Or you can eat spinach. You know spinach, porcai, the thing has quite a lot of iron. All right, so iron is very important for athletes because you need hemoglobin to perform in sports, to run. Okay, so that's about it, I guess. Okay, anyway, I'll keep this for next week lah. I'll keep this for next week. Let us do some exercise because we haven't done any exercise so far. Okay, let's do some exercise today first. Right, so guys, let me repeat this again. Let me repeat this again. Your chapter 2, your heart, and your chapter 3, your lungs, they are very related. Sorry, is this 2 or 3? This is 4, right? Okay, sorry. Your 4. Your 3 and 4, which is your lungs and your heart, they are related. So if you learned this last year, you should study it again because they will come out together with your heart. The heart and the lungs, they go together. That's why I teach this side by side. I teach you the heart first, then I teach you the lungs because I don't want to split this into 2 years. I just think it's stupid because they do the same function, right? So anyway, the first one, respiration is a chemical reaction that happens inside cells. Complete the word equation for respiration. So what do you need? You need glucose. Yes, wow, you feel it there, nice. Okay, you need oxygen. You get carbon dioxide and water. This is a waste product. This is what you throw out. Right, next. This reaction is known as aerobic respiration. Why is it aerobic? Okay, this is actually next week. Aerobic means this happens with the presence of oxygen. Okay, this is what we call aerobic respiration. Have you guys learned this in year 7? Right, like Carl, you learned this year 7, right? Have you learned this before? What is aerobic respiration? And what is anaerobic respiration? I think you know this, right? Anaerobic is when you don't have oxygen. Okay, when you don't have oxygen, you'll get something called lactic acid instead. This will make your muscle really sore. The 肌肉酸酸的感觉就是 lactic acid. That's the lactic acid feeling. Okay, so this is your oxygen, right? Next, the diagram shows an air sac and a blood capillary. So label the blood capillary and the wall of the air sac. Okay, so this is the wall, or I will call it wall of alveolus, and this is your blood capillary. Okay, draw 2 red blood cells in the correct place on your diagram. So red blood cells, they should be here. Okay, they just want 2 lah. So we give them 2 lor. So C, draw an arrow to show the direction in which oxygen diffuse. Label your arrow O. So oxygen, they move where? Oxygen, they move where? Oxygen, they move in, right? oxygen, they move from your alveolus to your lungs, right? Sorry, to your blood capillary, right? Move in because you are taking in oxygen, right? So this is your O. And then draw another arrow to show the direction in which carbon dioxide diffuse. Label your arrow C. So you throw out carbon dioxide. So you throw it from your blood capillary to your alveolus. You throw it out. So E, the blood leaving the lungs in the capillaries travels to another blood vessel and then to the heart. What are the names of the blood vessel and the part of the heart it will first enter? Very good question. So, what is the pipe going back to your heart? This is last chapter. What is the pipe going back to your heart? Whenever you are talking about the lungs, you have to use one word, which is we learned last chapter. Hello. When it has something to do with your lungs, you will use the word pulmonary. Okay, pulmonary, and it's going into your heart, going in. So it's your pulmonary vein. Vein is to return to the heart. Remember, artery is to exit the heart. Okay, you guys remember? This is last chapter, guys. That's why I say these two chapters, they are not separated. Yeah, it's different chapter, but it's the same thing, right? They have overlapping functions. So pulmonary vein. So what part of the heart does it first enter? Pulmonary vein going back into which room? You have 4 rooms in your heart, right? So what is the room that they enter? Okay, wow, good, very good. That's your left atrium. Okay, so for those who forgot, it was here. Remember, it was here. Let's go back to my square diagram. Where's my square diagram again? Are there? Okay, you see? Pulmonary vein here. From your lungs going back to your left atrium. That's what I want. All right, that's what I want. Okay, pulmonary vein. Remember, anything to do with your lungs is the pulmonary. It's the word pulmonary. Right? So a pulmonary disease is a lung disease, right? You can say COVID-19 is a pulmonary infection, okay? Pulmonary disease, okay? Because it's your lung disease. Right, next, number 3, diagram below. Oh, shit, my pen is no more battery. Hang on, guys, let me. It runs out of battery all the time. Okay, so diagram below shows the component in human respiratory system. So can you please, okay, since my pen needs to charge for a while, what is J? What is J? Yes, alveoli, good. Alveolus, if you would, because it's a singular. I think so. It's an alveolus. AL. Okay, alveolus. What about K? What about K? What about K? K is your the main tube here. Yes, it's your trachea. Very good. Okay, this is your trachea. What about L? What about L? This is a bit blurry lah, but it's pointing to one of the small tube. Very good. That is your bronchial. Okay, bronchial. Crown not bronchi. Bronchi is double bronchus. So it's bronchial. Right, characteristic of K. State the characteristic of K. So how is K like? K has these rings called, what are they called? Okay, so they have cartilage rings. Remember? They have these rings called cartilage rings. So what's their function? What is their function? This is to prevent collapse. Okay, prevent collapse so that they don't close for no reason. Right? Because if they do, you will suffocate and you will die. Simple. Alright, so that's your K, your trachea. So guys, if you want to choke someone to death, I think I told you this before, you want to choke someone to death, it will take some challenge because it's not easy to collapse these cartilage rings. Right, so next, diagram below shows a process of breathing mechanism. Mark for the correct statement during exhalation. What happens when I exhale? So number one, rib cage move downwards and inwards. Is it correct? You want time? Okay, sure. Type faster. Okay. So, is it correct? Is it correct? When you breathe out, does your chest go in and down? Yes. Yes. Well, how did you make a tick there though? Right, so next, diaphragm contracts and flatten. Does the diaphragm come down? Does the diaphragm come down? Okay, come on, got it. Okay, hey, by the way, this is wrong. This is wrong. We are exhaling. We are exhaling. I'm pushing medicine out of the syringe, right? So my rubber needs to go up. My rubber needs to go up, not in. I cannot draw my rubber in because when I draw my rubber in, I am pulling air in. Yes, Carl, thank you. Okay, so volume increase. What is thoracic cavity? This is chest cavity lah. Okay, volume increase. Does my volume here increase? Is my chest becoming bigger? No, right? Okay, because I'm exhaling. So next, the pressure is higher. Is the pressure here higher? Yes. Sorry guys, I just choked myself. Excuse me. All right, so two correct. Next, complete the following flow chart to show the direction of air that is breathed out from the lungs. Guys, take note, is breathed out. So what do we start with? I'm going out. So what do we start with? What do we start with? What do we start with? Okay, yes, that's the alveolus. How your L is missing? Alveolus, So, and then your bronchial. And then what is here? The bigger thing called bronchus. Or bronchi lah, okay? Because you got two there. So trachea. This one you don't need to know. This one you don't need to know. Okay, but if you want to know, this thing is by the way called nasal cavity. What is nasal cavity? Nasal cavity is the space in your nose, which is here. This is your nasal cavity. When you're digging your nose, you're digging into the nasal cavity lah. That's the nasal cavity. That means your nose cavity. All right, so guys, before I go, I have a request. Please do until your question 7. If you want to do 8, you can try. Oh, there's only so much here. Okay, you can do until question 6 or 7 if you have the time. Okay. By the way, guys, next week I'm wrapping this chapter up. Next week I am wrapping this chapter up. We have still a little bit to go on. Right? As you can see, I didn't give a lot of exercise here. Okay, because this overlaps with the previous chapter. So I think previous chapter we did quite a lot already. So this one I give a little bit less. Okay, So next week we shall wrap this chapter up, and by April we should be able to enter chapter 5. Right? We have 2 more chapters in biology remaining, which is reproduction. Okay, next chapter is the main headache chapter because reproduction is a long chapter. Okay, so anyway, you guys have any question? Hell no, huh? Right, that's the most headache chapter. You guys have any question? No, huh? No, huh? Okay, if that's the case, then I shall see you next week. Okay, have a good week ahead. I will see you soon. All right, so take care, guys. Have a good Monday. See you. Good night and bye, guys. Bye bye.